Talk about youth development with us, the Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs, Ms. Shamfa Cudjoe. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm fine, thanks.
So earlier this week, we did have a brief conversation on the Global Coalition for Youth Employment, which is being launched tomorrow. So from where you sit, what is happening exactly?
Okay, well, first and foremost, I must say that the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, we are now focusing on expanding our youth development platform. Oftentimes in the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, or wherever youth affairs is placed, you find youth affairs get stifled. And I think I could safely say that when I got to the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs last year, April, I found that sports sort of stifled or overpowered youth in the ministry. So we embarked on a journey to bring youth development to a more central place and to focus on establishing programs for youth development. So we started with the meeting with the different stakeholders, the youth groups and other organizations that help to provide services to young people. We hooked up with the Global Campaign for Youth Employment. So it's a coalition of entities and organizations, both public and private sector based in the UK, like Teach a Man to Fish, Youth Business International, that's the body that's responsible for Global Entrepreneurship Week. All these entities that focus on youth employment,
Right.
To treat with all matters or issues or challenges faced at home in the area of youth employment and entrepreneurship. So we have the team from Global Coalition for Youth Employment here in Trinidad and Tobago right now. So we are launching the Trinidad and Tobago chapter and the initiatives under that. So we have life skills development. We have the School Enterprise Challenge, where we have 12 schools throughout Trinidad and Tobago that are going to compete in this international initiative to develop businesses within their schools and to gain recognition for doing the same. We also launched LEAP. LEAP and life skill development is twofold because the ministry had set out an initiative to partner with Princess Trust International to develop life skills, to promote life skills development for young people. You find oftentimes a number of young people don't know what to do, don't know where to go with their lives, and even those who would have graduated with their degrees need help in soft skills training, leadership training, how to speak, customer service, time management, money management, how to write a resume, how to dress for an interview, preparation for an interview. So the list goes on and on. So we are trying to equip our young people with the necessary skills, knowledge, and experience that they need so that they could lead more progressive and productive lives.
Yeah, but then there are those youths who don't want to get help, some of them. And, you know, they might say, for example, recently there was this situation with the two girls who were in school and they were caught allegedly smoking and they were suspended. And then a couple of days later, they posted another video on Instagram, you know, doing the same thing, although they were suspended. So how do we help people like that?
I think within the school system, you have a guidance counselor system that's supposed to assist at each school. I'm very aware that at each school, there's supposed to be those kinds of services available, but we cannot give up on young people. Many times, some of them don't know what they want, they don't have the right leadership, the right guidance, and I think as adults, as teachers, as leaders, as legislators, we have to do all that we can because the Vision 2020, the government's development plan is all about human capital development. And you can't talk about human capital development without investing in our youth. Our young people are our most valuable resource. They are leaders of today and tomorrow.
And now.
Yes, of today and tomorrow. Yeah, so we have to do what's necessary to equip them with the right skills, the right guidance. Oftentimes, I think sometimes we give up on young people too early, too soon. So we are now making this intervention for young people from the age of 12 all the way up. Because the Ministry of Youth, we're responsible for youth development for people between the ages of 12 and 29. So we've established these programs to target those young people. Yeah,
and the Global Campaign for Youth Employment and the Life Skills, Employability, Entrepreneurship, Activism, Patriotism, that is taking place tomorrow, Friday the 8th of February 2019 from 10:30 a.m. at Signature Hall in Chaguanas.
Yes, we have 12 schools that are participating, so we do a launch at Signature Hall tomorrow for the School Enterprise Challenge and the launch of the Global Campaign for youth employment. We're going to do a Tobago launch because we have at least 3 schools participating from Tobago. And on Saturday, we kick off with our life skills or LEAP program. LEAP stands for life skills, employability, entrepreneurship, activism, and patriotism. And we have a whole module of lessons for...
And with this launch, it marks the beginning of a 5-year program that is expected to help young people.
Yes, it's not just about doing the school entrepreneurship enterprise challenge, but we're also doing some study. And I think that's the most important part of it, to capture the data so that we can make good decisions. We have MIC, CCC, YTEP, a host of programs, and we don't know how effective are these programs. Are we really touching the people we're supposed to be reaching? What's the success rate? Have we charted, like followed these young people to see what are they doing with their lives now, or are they program hopping? You know, so it gives us the data to see what's really happening with our young people, what needs to be tweaked, what is being duplicated unnecessarily, so that we can come up with a proper plan and strategy to implement a program that is suited for Trinidad and Tobago. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. Though there are a number of countries participating in the initiative, we are developing a strategy that is suited for Trinidad and Tobago and the young people here with our special
How does this all fit into our national youth policy?
Right, I'm glad you mentioned the national youth policy. We are now in the process of revising the national youth policy. We would have done phase 1 of the consultations last year, and we now are going to go into phase 2 in March, so that we can have a proper document by, I would say, by June. We've brought on a technical team. The youth policy is intended to develop strategies to treat with young people between the ages of 12 and 29, helping them make that transition from being a child to being an adult, and the special concerns and challenges that come with that age group. So it's putting a specific focus on human development, but for that age, 12 to 29.
Yeah.
Yes?
And the Adolescent Intervention Program is something that we also need to look at.
Yes, of course. We have a number of issues at the school level, secondary school level, from bullying all the way to drugs, alcohol, sex and STDs and so on. So we have a team from the ministry, and we partner with stakeholders like Rapport and so on to go out to the schools and have these talks with young people and provide the necessary guidance. We could never have enough of that in Trinidad and Tobago when you look at what's happening with our young people.
And they need mentors in their life as well.
That's
somebody
right.
that they can look up to.
National mentorship program. The former government would have started this program, and it was geared at helping youth at risk or at-risk youth, right? And it was not successful, or the pilot program, we learned some lessons from the pilot program, I should say. Rather than saying it was not successful, I would say we've learned some lessons from the pilot program and have shifted the program from Ministry of National Security to Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs. We want to focus on youth development. So we have a consultant that will be working with the ministry in order to properly set up this program so it could be implemented to touch as many young people as we possibly can. Of course, it's going to be done as a pilot first, and then we're going to expand it, but we want to get it right before we expand it.
And you need to get the youth. Any special program to actually get the youth attracted to programs like these? How is social media being used?
Right, social media. Like I said before, youth often gets drowned by sports in the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs. So we are establishing a communication unit where we are going to have people focused on youth development and those focused on sport. Social media is very important to our young people, so we are now for the first time getting on Instagram. We were not on Instagram before. We were only on Facebook, and the Facebook crowd is aging. So we are moving over to Instagram also, so you have access. We have our programs also on our website, but we want quick access to our young people, so we're now looking to set up Instagram for the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs.
And you know, we need to change with the technology. You know,
Yes.
this morning we were talking about the energy conference, and the theme was technology and the changing sector. Now, in every sector, technology is important, and the ministry is using technology as well.
That's right, that's important.
Now, for the registration, how can people register for programs and that kind of thing?
Okay, the registration form is available on our website and through a link on our Facebook page. We have some over 300, 400 youth groups throughout Trinidad and Tobago, some active, some not so active. So we're trying to get a proper registry as to what exists as it relates to youth development organizations and groups that serve youth development, so we can form that into one portal. There'll be easy access as it relates to the youth development network within Trinidad and Tobago. That would help us to reach out to these youth groups to plan events and training like succession planning. Oftentimes in our youth groups in Trinidad and Tobago, after the leader, president or vice president moves on to going to college, some of these groups just flop.
Yeah.
So we want to ensure they have the necessary training, how to manage their books, their accounting and so on, because if we're going to get private sector support, we have to show that our financials are up to date and we're operating with a steady structure. So we have to reach out to as many youth groups as possible, and I think the registration drive would help with that, even as we partner with international organizations and helping youth groups to connect with each other to make a stronger impact. Because what you have is a number of groups in little corners doing a little bit. But if we come together, I think we'll be a force to be reckoned with. So we are working on getting young people recognized, organized, fired up and ready to go.
And I'm sure people will be looking out to see how these programs go, because you know, the youth of today and tomorrow, they need to be monitored and cared for rather. So thank you very much, Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs, Shamfa Cudjoe, for coming on and chatting with us, telling us some of the initiatives that the ministry is working on. And of course, we here at TTT will continue to monitor the progress of these initiatives.